Good evening, and I welcome you to your transformative program, Politics and Beyond. Today's episode, as we have always been saying, is also going to be one of the most exciting episodes you will ever have. And that is the reason why you should call in your colleagues and friends, your loved ones to also tune in and be part of it. It's going to be educative, and most importantly, it's going to be very transformative as we prepare to make sure that we have a better country, both now and in the future. My name is Emmanuel Jr., your host and the Chief Crusader Against Corruption. Today, one of the things we're going to do is the fact that we are going to have an opportunity for you to be the guest. And anytime I refer to you as the guest, what it simply means is that you are going to have the opportunity to call into the show and then express your position, ask your questions, make your comments on the topic that we are going to discuss. Even before we get to that segment, you know it. You can always get interactive with us using the WhatsApp and the social media platforms that we have on the screen. Send in your messages even ahead of the time when we'll be activating the phone lines for you to make in your comments or call in. We're going to have a conversation around one thing that seems to be ongoing. And I'm saying ongoing because we have still not gotten to the final leg of it. And it has to do with the Chief Justice. I don't even know whether to call him the former Chief Justice or still the Chief Justice. But what we know is that the Chief Justice of Ghana has been suspended. And the question we are asking ourselves this evening is whether or not the suspension is a progress or a setback for the justice system that we have in this country. How do you see it? With all the things you've heard and all the things that you know about it, there are individuals who have made arguments that we need what we call absolute separations of powers. And so whatever is happening in the judiciary, the executive or the legislative arm of government should not meddle in it. There are others who also say that in as much as we have separations of powers, what we should know is that they serve as checks on each other. And so the executive have the power. And indeed, if you look at the 92 Constitution, it tells you that the executive have the power to ensure that streamlining takes place, especially on grounds that infringes or offends our Constitution and provisions of our law. And so this evening, the conversation we are going to have is very simple. The Chief Justice's suspension. Is it a progress in your view, or is a setback as far as our justice system is concerned? We're going to take a commercial break, and when we come back, we'll go straight into the conversation. I'll introduce you to the whole, issue surrounding the Chief Justice's current state, and then we'll activate the phone lines for you to express your views, your comments, your questions, if there's any. Just stay tuned.
The average human body mass should have at least 60% water for optimal performance in any physical or mental exercise. We can help you maintain it naturally. Natural mineral water. Simply natural. For bulk purchase, call 0596 273 546 or 0596 273 547. This advert is FDA approved.
If I cry na menyisika, edia ye mefui.
Ehinfa pa na menya bosia, edia tre medwuma yimu.
Kai kra mabre. Me busia ato taxi fufu. Suhum Rural Bank.
Suhum Rural Bank.
Yamamwakwa Baba Suhum Rural Bank. Ya want to say I would do a bit to say, Gedifu Bosiam, Ekuko Bosiam, Susu account, and it does all her savings account. Me bada chain savings account, and then the Akeka home. First Suhum Rural Bank was 034229186. Now one suwa to Miaka say.
Suhum Rural Bank. Ama ene mayeka una.
Suhum Rural Bank. Enti me pa minie.
Suhum Rural Bank, growing our heritage.
Welcome to the Royal Dazzle Event Center. With a lush and well-maintained lawn and garden, you are assured of the best serene and comfortable atmosphere to organize all your family and social events. Live the royal moments here with friends and family. The hosting capacity of 600 to 800 people makes Royal Dazzle the most versatile of places to host weddings, parties, funerals, conferences, concerts, and many more. Create your memories with us. Call us for inquiries on 055-814-8585 or 024-620-2144 or pass by and speak to any of our friendly staff. Locate us at My John, close to Zoom Lion headquarters. Royal Dazzle Event Center, creating memories.
Ghana, get ready to win big and live large with Mega Cash Lucky Box, the game where you could walk away with instant cash prizes. It's easy to play. Just dial *426*5# on all networks. Follow the prompt, pick a lucky box and reveal your cash prize. It's that simple. Win massive, up to 500,000 Ghana cedis. Don't miss your chance. Players all over Ghana are winning now. I won! What are you waiting for? Dial *426*5# or visit www.megacashluckybox.com and play on our web portal. The minimum to play is 5 Ghana cedis. Your lucky box could be holding that big cash prize. Mega Cash Lucky Box. Dial *426*5# and win instant cash today. Don't wait. Remember, terms and conditions apply and is NLA approved on the Caritas Lottery platform.
Welcome back, and I thank you for staying tuned. As I indicated earlier before we went on the break, we are having a conversation around the Chief Justice's suspension. And the question we are asking is whether or not this suspension or this process that has been activated should be seen as a progress or a setback as far as our judicial system is concerned. Now, if you look at the Constitution, you look at our 92 Constitution, Article 146, it tells you clearly the process involved if you need to remove a Supreme Court judge or, a tribunal judge. If you go into details, it sets up the parameters. The first and foremost is the fact that you must make sure that there's a petition that is submitted. You submit a petition to the president, and the petition must be able to establish two main things. The first one is whether there is a misbehavior. And the second one is whether there is some level of, or there is incompetency exhibited. And so you just don't submit a petition, but when you submit a petition, the evidence or the grounds on which the petition is submitted must prove these two elements. The second thing, or the second aspect or step of it is that after the petition is submitted, the president needs to review the petition. And in reviewing it, he does that in consultation with the Council of States. They review, and what is important in this process of review is to establish a prima facie case. And if they are able to establish that there is a prima facie existing, then they move to the third stage. And the third stage is what we call the formation of committee. And so if they form a committee for the committee to go further into investigating those allegations. If there's no prima facie case established, there's no need to form a committee. But the Constitution again talks about how the committee is supposed to be formed. And so the committee is supposed to have 2 justices of the Supreme Court. One of the justices will be serving as the chairperson. And then we also have 3 individuals who are not members of the Council of State. Neither are they parliamentarians or belonging to the legal fraternity. In other words, they are not lawyers or they are not legal practitioners. And so the committee that is formed must have 5 members. That is what the Constitution says. The 1992 Article 146, that is what it talks about. After the committee has been formed, their number 1 duty is to investigate. So obviously, after the formation of it, they move on to do the investigation. When the investigation of the allegations and the findings are made, they submit it to the president, because the president who sets up that committee. After the president has received, the next thing the president is supposed to do per the Constitution, the article that I referred to earlier on, the president must submit his decision to Parliament. And that is where we have the final stage in this whole process. So we have what we call the parliamentary approval. The president may remove the Chief Justice only if Parliament, by a 2/3 majority, approves the committee's recommendation. And so when the committee recommends to the president that, they've done the investigations and they think that, there's substance or the Chief Justice is at fault, and so the Chief Justice should be removed, that is, if that is the committee's recommendation, the president must submit this recommendation to Parliament, and it is required that 2/3 of Parliament must support this recommendation before anything of that sort can be done. So, this is the process, the summary process in ensuring or going through the removal of the Chief Justice, not this current Chief Justice alone, but any Chief Justice at any given point in time. The first is the petition that must be submitted. The second is the presidential review. The third is the formation of committees. The fourth one is the committee investigations. And the fifth one is the parliamentary approval. I need you to have this at the back of your mind. We currently have a situation, as I indicated, and all of you know that yes, there has been a petition submitted. But a lot of people don't know the journey that these petitions have been going through. The first one was, at least the first petition that came into the public domain actually happened on the 17th of December, 2024. And the petition was submitted by Professor Stephen Kweku Asare for the removal of the Chief Justice. If you look at the time or the date that I mentioned, 2024, we still had the erstwhile administration. In other words, the former president was still the president. So he was the one who received it. And I'm making reference to Mr. Akufo-Addo. He was the one who received it. So that was the first time it came to the public space that, the Chief Justice, who is now on suspension, a petition has been submitted for her removal. Now, if you go through that petition, Professor Kweku Asare alleged that the Chief Justice should be removed on 2 grounds. And those 2 grounds are the exact grounds that I mentioned earlier on: misconduct and incompetence. When and remember, when we are talking about misconduct and incompetence, we are not just talking about the Chief Justice office as a Chief Justice who goes to sit as a judge. What we should also know is that the Chief Justice is the head of the judiciary. And so whatever happens in the judiciary, she is the head of it. Everything, including what happens administratively, including what happens in the courtroom, what happens, he or she in this case, she is the head of the judiciary. So misconduct, incompetence happening in the judiciary, the petition stipulated or suggested that because she is the head of it, she should be held responsible. Now, when this happened, the president actually went on to, as its way, decided to initiate the process that I mentioned earlier on. You know, the president decided to do it, but along the line, the president truncated the process on two grounds. The president said that there was lack of supporting evidence. In other words, there was no prima facie case established. And so there was a truncation. The second ground was that there was a premature, publication of the petition. And yes, if you look at the Constitution, it says that petitions of such nature must be held in camera. In other words, you don't bring the content of it into the public space before, the committee finishes its work or before the processes, are done. So on these two grounds, Professor Ansa Asare's petition, or Kweku Asare's petition, was put on hold. I mean, in other words, the then president said that there's no ground for him to continue the process. So it went off. But what is important is that the suspended Chief Justice's, the call for her to be sacked started from the last administration. Good. When the current administration also came in, they received about 3. Now we are being told that they've received about 5. But at least 3 are what we know officially in the public space. So the first petition came to the president, and I'm making reference to His Excellency John Mahama, on the 14th of February, 2025. The second petition also came, whether coincidentally or whatever, it also came the same day on the 14th of February, 2025. And then the third petition, as I said, I'm limiting it to these 3, even though we are being told that there are additional 2, so that makes it 5. But limiting it to these 3, the third petition that came on the 17th of March, 2025. Now, the interesting thing about this petition, as I indicated, I'm careful not to go into any of the contents because I have access to them. I mean, some of the evidence and some of the content I am privy to, but I'm not, going into it by bringing it to the public space. But at least the third petition, it was so established in it that 21 allegations of misbehavior and 4 allegations of incompetence were leveled against the suspended Chief Justice. The president has decided that he's going to activate, because after a prima facie was established, they've now taken the next step by, suspending her, because you cannot set up a committee to do an investigation when, the person you are investigating is still at post. And so that's the reason why the suspension has taken place. And that's the best practice anywhere, unless you are not able to establish a prima facie case, then you can make an argument that there's no ground for a suspension to take place. But the Council of States, in consultation with the president, concluded that there's a prima facie. If there's a prima facie, what it simply means is that we must set up a committee. As we speak now, there's a committee in place that is investigating. And that is the reason why the Chief Justice has been suspended for this to happen. There's one thing which I will take you through for you to appreciate some grounds for which, these petitions seems to be coming. And this is, a public document, a public record. And that is why I'm confident in sharing this one with you. And this is a draft management letter. And when we talk of draft management letter, obviously, you should know that it is coming from the Auditor General's, is it services or Auditor General's services? They do the auditing. And this is a summary of findings for the period January to December 2023. So 1 year period under the leadership of the suspended Chief Justice, not Chief of Staff. So under the head, remember I said that she was, or any Chief Justice is automatically the head of the Judiciary Service. These things happen, and because of lack of time, I've just limited it to about 7 or 8 to bring to your attention. But if you go through the documents and you go through the summary of findings for the period of January to December 2023, there are about 26 to 27 issues, similar issues, out of which I'm just going to share with you 7 to 8 of them. Remember, the question we are asking ourselves is whether or not the suspension is a setback or is a progress as far as Ghana's judiciary is concerned. The first one, the Judiciary Service, and remember all these things happened within the period of January to December 2023. The Judicial Service paid an amount of 1.23 million as exchange rate losses to a company known as Luxury World for delayed in payments for the procurement of 38 Toyota Corolla vehicles in the year 2021, causing financial loss to the state. The second thing, the Lady Chief Justice, Gertrude, and the former Chief Justice, Eni Yeboah, embarked on private foreign travels with their relations instead of their security details. In other words, they went on an official trip. But the official trip that they went on, instead of going with the official individuals, in this case, their security details, they decided to go with their relatives at the expense of, you and I, the taxpayers' contributions. They spent an amount of 261,890 Ghana cedis on this one. Again, causing financial loss to the state. This was recorded within that period of that 1 year. The third thing, the Judicial Service failed to withhold taxes amounting to 71,840 from suppliers and service providers during the year under review. The fourth one you should also have in mind, payments totaling 8.36 million Ghana cedis were made by the Judicial Service without relevant expenditure supporting documents to authenticate the disbursement that was made. In other words, the amount that has been mentioned, or the amount that I have mentioned, the judiciary decided to disburse. We cannot get any documents to support that disbursement. And the audit service could not also get any document from the Judicial Service to support the amount that has been disbursed. All this happened under her leadership when she was the Chief Justice. It happened under her tenure when she was the head of the judiciary. The fifth one, Judicial Service paid an amount of 952,772 Ghana cedis, again to another company known as the Sams Firma, as exchange rate losses on delayed payments of the supply of 235 media chest freezers, which was at a cost of 3,300 Ghana cedis in the year 2021. And so that again was also a loss that happened under her tenure. You may describe it as misconduct, you may describe it as incompetence. I believe the committee that has been set in place will do a thorough investigation and a thorough work for us to see what needs to be done. The other thing that we also need to appreciate is that management of Judicial Service failed to obtain alternative quotations from other sources before procuring goods and services from suppliers and services providers, and the amount involved was 1.577 million Ghana cedis. And this contravenes the Public Procurement Act that we have in this country. It is not allowed for this to happen. But indeed, it happened again under the suspended Chief Justice when she was the head of the Judiciary Service. One more thing. Management of Judicial Service failed to present 359 payment vouchers with a total face value of 12.878 million Ghana cedis to the audit team for auditing. I don't know if you're appreciating what I'm saying. Management of Judicial Service, when the suspended Chief Justice was the head of the Judicial Service, management of the Judicial Service, they failed to present 359 payment vouchers with a total face value of 12.878 million Ghana cedis to the audit team for audit. Where did those monies go to? Because of time, I'll just end with the last one. The service overpaid an exchange rate loss to the tune of 492,887 Ghana cedis, as delayed in payments for the supply of 235 chest freezers in the year 2021 as retirement package for for retirees of the service. And so, as I indicated, if you go through the draft management letter as presented by the audit service, there are about 26 to 27 of such, out of which I have just indicated to you how many, 8 out of it. I am not claiming that the contents of the petitioners or the petitions, the 3 petitions, or now the 5 petitions, I'm not claiming that the content includes any of the things that I have said. All I'm saying is that the process involved in taking out the Chief Justice must first be triggered by a petition. And he or she can only be removed when 2 grounds are established. One is misconduct, the other one is incompetence. Remember, she is the head of the Judiciary Service. It means both administrative and all. Anything under the judiciary, she is the head of it. Audit Service, the year 2023, that's 2023, period January to December. If you take their draft management letter, these are just some of the, many things that they found. And so the question we keep asking, and that is why you are my guest this evening. We've been listening to a lot of people over the past period. We are activating the phone lines, and the question is very simple. We are asking ourselves whether or not the process that has been activated by the current president, whether or not the suspension of the Chief Justice, whether or not activating Article 146 of Ghana's 1992 Constitution, indeed, whether or not the executive being seen to, go into the workings of the judiciary, does it signal to you progress as far as our judiciary service is concerned? Or it signals to you setback as far as our judiciary service system or service is concerned. I want to hear your voice. I want to hear your thoughts on it whilst we go through the process. But as you know, currently what is happening is that she has been suspended, and the suspension actually took place in the month of April, 22nd of April, 2025. And this happened after consultations were done, after the Council of State were able to establish a prima facie case. And, right after, the first thing to do is to make sure that we have what we call taking the person off so that the investigations will take place. And that is exactly what has happened. Whilst we wait for your calls to also share in your topic and all that, share in your views, I will want to start with some messages that have already come. The first one says that, good evening, Mr. Wilson. The only way to sanitize the judiciary in Ghana is to let the current Chief Justice go. This is Saforo from Doma Ahinkru. Saforo did not really tell us, why the need for that sanitization. Why do you think we need to sanitize the judiciary? Do we even need to sanitize the judiciary? And if we do, why do you think we need to sanitize the judiciary? This one says, good evening, Mr. Wilson. My name is Maxwell from Ave Dakpa. Please call her the suspended Chief Justice. Okay, she is. Yes, so she is the suspended Chief Justice. Now, to come to your issue, her suspension is a progress to Mother Ghana. If you occupy a position of that nature, and you often want to favor the one who puts you there without following the due process, that's the outcome. President Mahama is doing very well by following the Constitution of Ghana. Kudos to him. Right, so this is from Maxwell. Then we have, this one says, please, good evening, Mr. Wilson, and trust you are doing wonderfully well. I have been watching this program since it interests me a lot. Please, what I want to add is that any MPP member in an institution who tries to sabotage the government must be eliminated. God bless you for the good work you are doing. Thank you very much. You didn't add your name. We have a first caller on the line. Good evening and welcome to Politics and Beyond.
Okay, my name is Moses.
Moses, where are you calling from?
Yes, I'm calling from Eastern region, to be precise, Somaya.
Somaya, very well. Moses, let's hear you.
Okay, please, I want to share my latest view on the CJ rule.
Yes, please.
What I want to say to the president is that I really recommended his work that he's doing. And with the CJ, if I were to be here, by this time I have resigned because this country needs to be reset, and that is what the government is doing. Everything that does not work in accordance of our system must be removed because the judicial service, there's no transparency due to the current governance. And if you want to make our system work effectively, then we must change all those people. That is what the president is doing. So I must recommend President John Mahama for his good effort that is bringing in our in the mother Ghana. So I really appreciate his effort. But the CJ must be removed.
But Moses, on what grounds do you think the CJ must be removed? Don't you think that the CJ can help in the resetting agenda?
With this, I can say with boldness that the CJ, it belongs to the former party, that is the former governance, and she has connived with them in terms of corruption. So,
in terms of what? Corruption.
In terms of corruption.
All right.
So with our new government, he cannot maintain him in office, maintain her in office because there are some people that has make scandals in our government, and then the President Mahama wants to fight those people as in prosecution. So we cannot maintain the CJ because they appoint new judges that when somebody gets an issue when it comes to court, they want to collide with the NPP people to fight against the person. Then that the truth will not come out. But then, once you want transparency in our judicial service, we must remove the CJ, be appointed by the NPP government. So, per the current government,
Yes.
remove all those people to make the system efficient and every transparency, and everybody must what believe and trust in our judicial service, because when you go to the judicial jurisdiction, what they're doing and what they're practicing, some of the things is not right.
Very
so
well.
We must make all allegiance to be backing what the President Mahama administration, because he's the only person we trust on this modern day Ghana, and that he has to reset Ghana. So we really appreciate him
so much, Moses. I mean, one thing you said which got my attention is trusting the judiciary. If this process will bring in or instill trust or restore trust into our judiciary, so be it. Because there has been prior to this instance, there has been so many research surveys that has come out that suggests clearly that Ghanaians are losing confidence and trust in the judiciary system. And so, yes, if this process will help restore it, I think the most important thing is the committee doing its work and coming out with its findings. And if indeed the findings suggest that there should be a removal, there will be. Okay, so welcome to Politics and Beyond.
Thank you.
Your name and where you are calling from?
Dominic Aka from Wanchi.
Dominic, from where?
Aka, Wanchi.
Wenchi, yes. Dominic, please go ahead.
Yeah. For me, concern about what you have read over there, about the laws, the course of the state,
yes,
by the Chief Justice.
Yes.
That is one. Two, that Chief Justice was once upon a time. So now the minority leader, Seyi Martin, sent from a case to him to deal with the speaker.
Yeah, that's true.
Justice stand at within some few minutes to settle the case, that saying that if the speaker fails to obey the court, he can go to prison.
That's true.
He can go to prison. Said by the CJ at that time. Two, even their own minister in Syria said that how the judiciary are going with their cases in this country, it is not good.
That's the former national security coordinator, Kandapa, or minister, Kandapa.
Yeah, Kandapa.
Okay, yes. Mm-hmm.
Now, in that case, if the at that 2024-23, if the ADC got send any case to the Supreme Court, they just keep it aside. And if the government in power send any case to them, then they stand at their seat at that moment to settle the case. For example, E-Levy is still in the court.
Right.
So this Chief Justice doesn't came for Ghana. It came for the particular people in this country, and that is not the way to go.
Okay.
So
all right.
This is my evidence. You have to go, whether they are crying or they are laughing.
Okay. Dominic, thank you so much. Our love and greetings to people in Wenchi. So Dominic, obviously thinks that the suspended Chief Justice, the process involved is rather a progress to Ghana's judiciary and not a setback. Okay, so the phone lines are still activated. This message is... All right, so let me just take this call and I'll come back to the messages. Good evening and welcome to Politics and Beyond.
Yes, please. My name is Louis.
Louis, calling from?
Yes. At Malam Bawe.
Malangbawe. Very well. Please, let's hear you. Louis, don't listen to the TV set. Just listen to me. Reduce the volume so that we can have a conversation.
Okay, all right. You see, if the man has already spoken, that kind of money that he has mentioned alone, it is not a joke. It's a massive money who has lost.
Yes.
Even though we don't know, I don't know what is in that petition.
That's right.
But imagine that money is very big. And then she has allowed those ones all to go. We need to clean the system. In short, more than 4 years now, no one trusts the court.
That's true.
Do you remember a few months, I think some 2 years ago, there was a man who was an auditor, was trying to prosecute some finance. They removed this man from his own office and kept him for 2.5 years until his days was over. And
you are referring to Daniel Domlevo.
Was not okay.
Yes.
So it's wrong. He shouldn't have done that. Antonio Martin went to the within 2 hours. He succeeded to bring the chief justice and the other people to sit. How come? I remember there was a second case, only I can't really remember. When they went and petitioned, they said the chief justice was not there. They turned them back. But this man can go there in the 2 hours and got it done. It is not fair. The president is doing his writing because they have ordered him to do. The president is not above the law too. They can also impeach him if he refuses to petition because they can also impeach him. If the president can be impeached, then he can be. That's all I know.
Thank you so much, Louis. Thank you so much. So this one says, on the issue of the petition to remove the Chief Justice, can the unrepentant... All right. So, Louis, thank you so much. Let me take this again. On the issue of the petition to remove the Chief Justice, can the unrepentant micro-minority members of NPP tell which section of the National Constitution the President has been breached or the President has breached? Are they not fetching water into a basket? And this is coming from Asanko, Santa Maria. Okay. Good evening, Mr. Wilson. It seems the NDC members are allowing themselves for these rented lawyers of Ghana Bar Association to set the pace for them. His Excellency Mahama must be firm and sack the chief. And sack all the chaffs in the judiciary. They can go and demonstrate on the rooftop of the Flagstaff House. Nobody cares. And this is coming from my namesake, Emmanuel from Tema. Do we have a caller on the line? Hello, caller.
Yes, caller. Yes. My name is
Yes,
Kojo.
please. Kojo.
I'm calling from Ofanko.
Kojo from Ofanko.
Yeah.
Kojo, welcome to Politics and Beyond. Can we hear you?
Yeah, thank you.
Kojo, you can speak. I mean, all the callers that calls in, I mean, you are free to speak the local dialect if you so wish. Please go ahead.
Oh, you're welcome. Yes, once again, let me say that the president has not breached any of the laid down procedures that have been set up by the law. What you just read in your introduction are some of the findings of the audit team. That one alone speaks volume. We mentioned about 30-something, but you only read 8 to us.
Yeah.
That one alone gives this thing. She knows her position, and it is expected that she has to lead beyond setting this thing. And when it comes to the job of seeking justice, or pronouncing justice, or producing justice, a lot is expected from her. You could see that when you go to Parliament, some MPs we may say that are better than some MPs. But people go there to seek for justice and they are denied. Look at this famous case of this LGBTQ issue. Look at the famous NDC issue with the Electoral Commission in terms of registration. So, counting all these things, to the best of my knowledge, she herself had to do herself a favor by just, resigning honorably.
Right.
But rather trying to contest all these things vis-a-vis whatever politics she wants to bring to me. She has, traded herself as a politician. We did not see her as a Chief Justice as she has produced so far for the nation.
Very well.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Kojo. That's thanks for your submission. Thank you so much. This one says, good evening, Mr. Wilson. There's no qualms at all, as the Chief Justice was suspended after a prima facie case was determined. The President only exercised his discretionary powers as provided by the Constitution of Ghana. Her suspension can't be said to be a setback. Let's allow the process to continue. And this is coming from Eric from Japan. Good evening and welcome to Politics and Beyond. Caller. Hello.
Yeah, good evening.
Good evening. Your name and where you're calling from?
Sorry?
Your name and where you are calling from?
Mohammed from Newtown.
From where?
Accra, Newtown.
Newtown. Okay, great. Mohammed, please go ahead.
Yes.
Mepacho Katri.
Mama, only His Excellency, President Mama, only serious. On start command, no. Madam, my for no face on covers.
Okay.
Mr. 140, that is 14,000. Mako up and down, man. Now, who the over? Ako, Eva, Chado, Ako, enjoy no Jauba, Obano, Oka, government in Hona, who could walk a Hona. Yeah, Musia, Yakosa, Laya, Papa. One was kind of some person from Nina, I come over. Yeah, Menoka say, 72 years.
Wow.
Me sure look to answer my duty. Me now you think I want a bank. Purposely a bank. Yakola Mango, Yakola Snow. She said me sure look to answer my duty. I put some of the queen, yeah, I'm telling Tona and Jake Gang is too. What is some of the and the one is serious. Everything is your person, but some and then be a, oh, you know.
That's it.
Oh, you know, dear, you know, that when I need to go also, almost admire.
That's right. Thank you so much. Wafa Mohammed. Me bon pa say nya bebe mouse kana wait me ahwe me nwa no mako school. Why? Bibia be fine. Oze. Bibia be fine. Ye dem pa bo better wechi. Why? Thank you so much. Okay, so this one is this one says, good evening, Mr. Wilson. My name is Tamimu Dari. Please, the Chief Justice is not justice enough. So please, Ghanaians need a just person. Thank you. Thank you so much. Good evening, sir. Good evening, sir.
Good evening. How are you?
I'm okay. Welcome to Politics and Beyond. I was actually reading my message. Your name and where you are calling from?
Yeah, I'm Kobe. I'm calling from Kumasi.
Kobe, please go ahead.
Yeah.
Kobe Mpacho, can you reduce the volume on your set?
Okay.
The TV set, just reduce the volume. Yes.
Okay. Is that okay?
Yes, I think so. Let's go ahead.
Yes. What I want to say is, I don't think the president has done something wrong suspending the Chief Justice. the Constitution is clear for all of us to understand. And the law is the law. So I don't think there's anything wrong for our president to take that action against the Chief Justice. Even the Chief Justice herself, her attitude clearly shows that she belongs to NPP. So I don't think even I'm not even happy with the suspension. He should be fired.
Well, there's a process, so we have to pass through the process. Remember, I took you through the process as the first presentation I did. There are 5 processes, and so
yes,
we need to respect the Constitution. The Constitution has given us a process, so this
yes,
stage is part of the process. So you just
yes,
exercise patience.
those people complaining, where were they when Charlotte Osei was treated badly? Where were they? And I don't understand why Jean Mensah and Bosma, Asari and Co. are still working. They should leave the office and let us think about Ghana and reset Ghana so that Ghanaians will feel free and do whatever they want to do.
But Kobe, those that you have mentioned, if you have any grounds or any issues, nothing really prevents you from submitting a petition for their removal. So if you really think that they need to be taken off, I will encourage you to submit a petition to the president.
Ghanaians are aware of their attitude. Look at the election. Look at the election, 2020. How can you announce the result 5 times? How can you announce the result 5 times? Even the 2024 election, when some constituencies they have problem with the calculation and all that, and they have to recollate. Look at the way they handle the whole issue.
I agree.
There are a lot of things that we can put across for them to be fired. By now, they should be fired. They should leave that place so that we put people there who will think about Ghana, not for themselves.
All right. Thank you so much.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Kobe. I can really feel the passion with which you are talking. Thank you so much. My love and greetings to all in Kumasi. This one says, good evening, sir. Mr. Host of the Politics and Beyond for this noble station. I'd like to use this opportunity to inform the President of the Republic of Ghana, His Excellency John Mahama, to act fast and do something about the ECG staff in the Adansi land at Ashanti region, especially Adansi South, because they are treating us badly. We have been sleeping without light since Saturday, and the light just came this evening around 8 p.m. And this is from Samuel Mawena Doku, New Edubiase. All right, so good evening and welcome to Politics and Beyond. Good evening, caller.
Yes, I'm Stephen.
I didn't get you. Udimbium, your name?
I said I am Stephen, calling from Wasa.
Stephen from Wasa. Can we hear you, please?
I don't know why these NDC people are joking with the MPP people and they have allowed them to be misbehaving. Is it that why are they allowing them to be doing that?
Well, it's a question I can't answer. I'm sure you've just asked they will answer at the right time. I don't know, but is that all?
No.
Okay, go ahead.
The Attorney General, I don't know why he came the last time and then brief us on what he's going through or what he's doing. And then we have not heard of anything, whether he has sent some of the people to court or whatever. And then they have allowed these people to be roaming and then misbehaving, doing whatever they want. And they think Ghana belongs to them. At least if he has done something, he should let us know. Because what these people are doing, what they have done to the country, and then they are still moving around, doing all these things causing what demonstrations and all those things. We don't know the necessity of that thing. Then they've allowed them to be doing that. And then we will still call them a micro minority. And whatever they're doing, it's not showing that they are micro minority. They want to believe that, or they want to do and then show Ghanaians that they are more than the micro minority that we call them.
Okay.
Actually, they should do something. They should do something. We the Ghanaians that voted them in power, we are looking up to them to do something. Actually, they should send them to court and then start prosecuting them. Because what they have done to the country is not the right thing.
Very well.
We need actually serious action. But better than the kind of talk they are talking.
Thank you so much, Stephen, and my greetings to everyone in Wassa. So this one says, good evening, Mr. Wilson. In fact, those in the helms of affairs are doing great harm to the nation than good. Why all this? And this is coming from Reverend Justice Aposa from Ho. Caller, welcome to Politics and Beyond.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening. AJ?
Calling from Kumasi.
Kumasi. Please go ahead. Mate.
President John Mama. To Obama, no, Ghana force her life. To Obama, no, say, Omeya de Tambua, Ghana for you know. And it's the Chief Justice, you know. The Constitution, no man, why? And you know, onye Jumama Ghana for, Odin Finch and onye Jumama Ghana for. At the Constitution, in my idea, and your mama on Fanny Penny, Ghana for your Obama, no, so may Ghana you money. But the Constitution, no, why they are for the sea for no one yet. Yes, I was in here. On the 20th, when you were you will crap. I know what people want to say, want to mean address or you know. So, do circle, what would I say? You know, no more some time, you know. The lady at the one, you know. The Constitution in my choir, the man here. But the Constitution in my choir, the presidency from Ghana for the 2 and
it has a Nyaminka on to Mr. J. This one says, good evening, Mr. Wilson. Thanks for your massive work. But why are you guys not talking about Burkina Faso issues and let the Ghanaian know what is going on in Africa? Okay, you didn't add your name. This one says, Mr. Wilson, no matter the level of mischief the unprincipled, micro, and irrelevant minority will play, it will not stop the president from being focused. And this is from Asanko, Santa Maria. Good evening, sir. If this due process initiated by the president will create unnecessary noise, then that article should be totally scrapped from the Constitution. A bad law is still law until it is amended. And this is Emmanuel from Tema. Well, I have heard people make reference to Article 146 this past days, and some are referring to it as a bad law. They just describe it as a bad law without giving reasons why it's a bad law. And so sometimes I find it difficult to appreciate why. I mean, honestly, I find it difficult to appreciate why it is described as a bad law. I wish those who are describing it as such will give me reasons or give us reasons. This one says, good evening, sir. The Chief Justice deserves to be removed without any restrictions and also face the law. God bless His Excellency John Mahama. I'm Saba Edmond. Thanks. Okay, Saba. Good evening, Mr. Wilson. I'm Sefa calling from... No, you're not calling, you're testing. Okay. Sefa, don't mind me. Good evening, Mr. Wilson. I'm Sefa, testing from Spintes. No matter the noise the NPP and their collaborators do, the Chief Justice must and will be sacked. Okay. Good evening, Mr. Wilson. Despite all the noise by the minority, the law is still the law. It is finished. Politics and Beyond. From Imoro, Abdullahi, Bongo. Okay. The Chief Justice must be removed because She has caused financial loss to the state. The Chief Justice is incompetent in her work. She connived with the previous government and robbed the country in financial aspects. She's not the first Chief Justice who has been sacked. And this is coming from Sir Akoko Kusa. Oh, sorry, this one says Sir Akoko Kusa. Is it Akokusa, I guess? Okay, so Sir Akokusa was sacked by the late President Osajefo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. Okay, you didn't add your name. This one says, my name is Ibrahim Tanko from Ebura Dunkwa. Chief Justice must go so that oral offenders can be prosecuted to serve as a deterrent to others. Thanks. This one says, I fought the integrity of the Ghana Bar Association. Where were they during the Nana Addo and Baumia era when the former CJ was removed in office? What did they do? Now they have the guts to talk. No wonder the minority leader told them to wake up against the CJ's removal. But I think the CJ should be removed as soon as possible. Thanks, Mr. Wilson. I'm Gazari Anthony from Asante Bekwai. This one says, good evening. And I think this might be my last message because we've run out of time. This one says, good evening, boss. You know, anyone who is evil will always be afraid of their own shadows. So they prefer to keep and hold everybody in the dark. They hate to see an attempt by anyone who wants to turn on the lights. Is the Chief Justice not aware of the Auditor General's reports? Is she proud of all that has been said in the petition? Well, that's a question I'm sure the Chief Justice will be the only one, or the suspended Chief Justice will be the only one to respond to. Even though I said this is the last message, there are a number of messages in. Let me see if I can just come through one or two more. This one says, please, I'm Sami from Kumasi. Please, the newly recruited trainee teachers have worked for about 8 months and we are yet to get our staff's ID. Okay, not salary, but ID. Okay. This one says, I'm Patrick from Edum Ban. So the Chief Justice must go if only the economic transformation is really needed. Mr. Wilson, please tell the government to bring back state farms to solve most of our national problems, especially unemployment among the youth. And this is from Danso Isaac Ayeduase. Good evening, Mr. Wilson. You are looking handsome. Oh, okay. Thank you so much. You didn't add your name, but thank you so much. The Chief Justice dismissal is long overdue. She should have been fired since She should have been fired since. The next is the EC boss and associates. And this is Bello from Latebio Koshi. Good evening, Mr. Wilson. Good evening, Mr. Wilson. Please, I'm Godwin J. Jabab. The suspended Chief Justice was serving the one who appointed her, and that in no way serves the interest of the country. She should go. Please, good evening, Mr. Wilson. I'm enjoying your show. God bless you so much. I am Humble Queen. All right, Humble Queen, thank you for doing the viewing. Good evening, politics and beyond. The suspension of the Chief Justice is not new. Since independence, Ghana's judicial system has been rocked with corruption and it needs cleaning. Resetting Ghana agenda. All right, thank you so much. I'm sure this is where I will want to, draw the curtain on the messages that are coming in. I want to appreciate you so much for taking time to be part of the show, especially those who called in. I want to say thank you so much. I mean, sorry, the messages keep coming, but unless my producer is giving me 10 more minutes. If so, then I will continue. Am I? Anyway, my producer says I should wrap up. Okay, so wrapping up, let me wrap up with one or two more. Good evening, Mr. Wilson. I'm Araba testing from Cape Coast CCTU. I don't think GBA, that's the Ghana Bar Association, still read or reads the Constitution. This woman has disgraced their profession to nothing. Good evening, Mr. Wilson. Which laws permit the removal of Charlotte Osei, but not Mrs. Tukonu? Are our laws respecter of persons? Where were all this, where Charlotte and Mrs. Lamptey were being removed? Double standard indeed. And this is Joe from Accra. Ghana Bar Association have now found their voice, but it is too late. A lot happened when they were mute. The Chief Justice needs to be removed. If not, the aura will not save justice. If the CJ is still in office, just because she wouldn't prosecute all those who are involved in corruption. And she wouldn't be fair to all that. And she wouldn't be fair in all that. In all. That is why the MPP are making too much noise about her removal. And let's not forget that the new CJ was appointed by His Excellency, the former President John Kufuor. Good evening, Mr. Wilson. Why are we talking too much precious time on this woman? Or why are we taking too much precious time on this woman? You can't misuse our hard-paid tax on your daughter and still be wasting our time. So the Ghana Bar Association still exists in Ghana. Tell them to focus their energy on more serious cases pending at the court. You didn't add your name. The Chief Justice needs to be removed. If not, the aura would, I think, is the same thing. This one came from Prince. Good evening, sir. Do we have Christian Women Association in this country? The president is delaying with the dismissal of the Chief Justice. Meanwhile, the allowance for the EC work has not yet been paid. I think this issue of allowance for the EC work, we need to also have some time and talk about it, because I've received so many calls and so many text messages coming from individuals who are saying that they did not or they have not been paid since the last election. And I'm talking about the temporary workers, those that assisted in the election process 2024 December 7th elections. We are what? January, February, March, April. We are about 4 months, getting to the 5th month, and they have not been paid. I don't think this is the best thing, so we really need to look at it. This one says, you're looking hot, Papa. Okay, thank you. Thank you so much. I'm not going to mention the name, but that's fine. Thank you so much. It is 10 minutes, almost 10 minutes past our closing time. And so I want to appreciate the messages that are still coming in. I want to appreciate individuals who were willing to call, but because of time, we have to end at a point. At least today, we've had the opportunity to express our position on the Chief Justice, whether or not it's a setback or it's a progress as far as our judiciary is concerned. Those of you who do not know the process, the platform has taught you how the process goes. Relying on Article 146 of our Constitution, we've been able to go through it. I believe you also appreciate where exactly, the states in the process that we find ourselves in now. A 5-member committee has been set up and they are doing the investigation. And that's the main reason why she needed to be suspended. She can't be a judge in her own court. And that is why she's been suspended, so that the right thing will be done. And so individuals who are saying or who are having contrary views, probably it is because you've not been, you are not privy to the contents of the petition. But putting the contents of the petition aside, I've told you that she can only be removed on 2 grounds: incompetence, misconduct. If for nothing at all, avert your mind to what I've taken you through, the draft management letter. Just 1 year, January to December 2023, out of about 26, 27 issues that were raised in that document, I just gave you 8 of them. All too soon, this is where time will allow us. Next week, we are going to meet again. The same time, the same platform, TV XYZ. That's Monday next week, 8 p.m. So we meet again. I'm still Emmanuel Wilson, your host, the Chief Crusader Against Corruption here in Ghana. And all I can say for now is good night.